Hello, I'm Minnie Scipio. Welcome to County Courier. Today I'm talking with Ned Carr, who is the director for the Peninsula Worklink, which operates the one-stop career centers here on the peninsula. Welcome to our show, Mr. Carr.
Thank you, Minnie.
The Workforce Investment Act of 1988 provided the framework for a unique national employment system designed to meet both the needs of businesses, job seekers, and people who wanted to enhance their careers. Explain to us exactly what the Workforce Investment Act is and how it relates to the Peninsula Worklink.
Well, the act was passed actually in 1998, and it created a new comprehensive workforce system, replacing the previous one, which was known as JTPA, Job Training and Partnership Act. This new program was designed to be very customer focused, to provide workforce support and assistance to individuals in a way that would be easy for them to access the services that they might need. So the Workforce Investment Act really created a new workforce system built around the individual customers. That's why we call our centers the one-stop centers. The idea being a one-stop is when a person comes to us, they're in the right place. We don't make them go to other agencies around the county or the cities. They're in the right place, and we bring the services to the customer. So that's the concept of the Workforce Investment Act, to be more user-friendly and to also support businesses and helping them find the workers they need to be successful.
Okay, one of the key components in the Workforce Development Act was the one-stop centers. Explain a little bit more about the one-stop centers, where they are here on the peninsula.
Sure. I should say, first of all, that what the Workforce Investment Act did is it created a system throughout the country that provided workforce investment boards made up primarily of business people in every area. And then within those areas, they created one-stop centers to provide the services. So that's really what we have here on the peninsula. We have a workforce investment board. Actually, we call it the Peninsula Council for Workforce Development, and that has designated 2 one-stop centers. Peninsula Worklink is our trade name, our brand name, and we have one center in Hampton and another center in the Williamsburg area. So those 2 primary centers.
Okay, and those centers serve all of the individuals here on the peninsula?
That's correct.
Basically what they cover?
Right, we cover the entire peninsula.
Who is eligible to come to the centers for services?
Let me say to begin with that everybody is eligible for some level of service at the one-stop. We have 3 levels of service, if you think about it. Our staff likes to use the analogy of an inverted pyramid. At the very bottom, you basically have, or I guess inverted would be at the top, you have core services. Everybody's eligible for core services, and those really are determined by the fact that we provide assistance to any job seeker who comes to our area. We connect them to access computers, computer banks of information regarding jobs, information regarding the labor market at any given time in the region, lots of information about educational programs that are available, the costs of those programs, and the success ratio of people who have taken those courses. So all of that is available to everybody. We have telephone banks, we have copying machines, we have fax machines, as I said, computers, and lots of resources to help people find work. The second level of service is called intensive services. And intensive services really are for those people who were unable to find work at the core level of service and need more help from others to really get that job. So if a person is eligible for core services, then they would be assigned a case manager who would work with them one-on-one, be sure their resume is in order, help them with interviewing skills, help them do a labor market analysis in the area and make sure that the job they're looking for really does exist and is a viable option for them. Intensive services are generally reserved to two categories of customers. One would be a dislocated worker. That's the technical name for someone who's lost their job through no fault of their own. They're laid off. They would automatically be eligible for intensive services.
Now, do they automatically go through a screening process to determine what services?
As part of
level?
really core services, anybody can attend an orientation session. And in that orientation session, they would learn whether they're eligible for intensive services. As I said, dislocated worker or what we call a low-income adult, 18 years of age or older. The Federal Workforce Investment Act states that if funding is limited, we have to be certain we're serving the neediest customers. And that's why we have this adult low-income category, to be sure that a person who really needs our support and assistance, we can provide it at the intensive level if they meet certain income standards. The third level of service that we provide at the One Stop is training. So a person who is eligible for intensive services, if it is determined that they need some upgrading in their skills or entirely new skills, then we can authorize that they're approved for training. And right now we can provide a voucher up to $4,000 that would cover training for an individual. Again, to have the skills to find that first job and be successful.
Okay. You play an important role in providing services to youth as well, including those with disabilities. Explain some of the services that you offer to youth.
Well, primarily under the Workforce Investment Act, there is an entirely expanded youth educational program and support program. It's for individuals between the ages of 14 and 18 for the most part. And there's an in-school and an out-of-school component. Actually, our neighbors right next door, a former employer of mine, New Horizons Regional Education Center, is currently the youth contractor. They run the majority of the youth programs. So we will still talk to an individual who might be eligible for youth services and make a referral to our colleagues right across the parking lot in Hampton. And there, they'll go through the same process. They'll be assigned a counselor who will look at their situation and provide them assistance. There are pre-apprenticeship programs that a youth can go into. If they're in school, as I said, there are in-school portion and an out-of-school portion. We do things that help extend the educational experience that the young person would be having at their home school. We can pay for summer school or other kinds of services that may not be available in the in-school program. The out-of-school program is, again, for youth who has tried to find a job, has not been successful. We may be able to put them into a training program where they'll get the technical occupational skills that they need. And then we'll work with various forms of support systems to place them, in many cases, on jobs and give them that first chance.
Okay. You mentioned apprenticeships, and I would assume that you work with businesses to provide those apprenticeships.
Yes, we do. In fact, we're beginning to do some work with registered apprenticeship programs in that we can support their employees who are going through that apprenticeship program. As you probably are aware, in the state of Virginia, a registered apprenticeship program has to be sponsored by an employer. So this is an area where, as I say, we're getting involved in. It's a little bit new to us because the people receiving the training and apprenticeship programs are already employed. Mm-hmm. We tend to work with unemployed folks, but we also work with employers. So here's a way we can reach out to employers, particularly small businesses, and help them train their actual workers in specialized skills, and we can provide some of the cost of that training, and we can even provide employees who can move into that track, so the employer will have some assistance to get started, to hire some people, which they haven't possibly been able to do in this recession, and we can support that process where they can add to their employment roles and assist those employees gaining the skills necessary to be successful.
You mentioned employers and the businesses. Talk about some of the other services that you offer to businesses.
Well, primarily we can do screening for them, screen candidates and make referrals to them when they're looking to hire new people. We can make referrals to various training programs in the area that may already have students who are getting ready to finish up their training that might support a business in their need. We do something called rapid response assistance to businesses, which means, and we've been doing a lot of these lately, if a business is getting ready to lay off employees, they're required by federal law to notify the state of Virginia that they're anticipating a layoff. In those instances, we'll go out to the individual businesses and talk to the employees, to let them know the resources that are available to them in terms of either applying for unemployment insurance. That's usually the first step because they'll be eligible for that, but also what they need to do, in other words, in the process of looking for work and accessing other resources that can help them during this period of layoff. So we do a lot of that. That's support to businesses, and really an essential function, certainly during these very difficult times.
How is the Peninsula Worklink funded?
It's funded entirely with federal dollars. Federal dollars from the Department of Labor, obviously approved by Congress and then passed through the Department of Labor. They come to the state of Virginia and then they're allocated to these workforce areas around the state. They're not allocated equally, they're allocated on a formula based on, again, the number of layoffs and the number of people who are out of work at any given time. But our funding comes through that pipeline, so to speak, and it fluctuates again based on the number of unemployed people at any time and the need for services. There are no costs to customers who come to us. We're there to help them. Again, there are 3 levels, and I guess at the open end of that funnel or inverted pyramid is anybody can come in and get assistance. But as you move up the line towards training, it becomes more expensive, and we have to be sure we're serving those who are in the greatest need.
Ned, talk about some of the on-the-job training opportunities that are available.
Okay, on-the-job training is really a service that we provide to businesses, and quite frankly, it's something that the Department of Labor is going to be emphasizing, we think, in the next few months, even more so than they have in the past, and that is that we enter into an agreement with a business that the business agrees to hire one of our customers. We will pay 50% of the salary or wages for that employee for the period of time it takes the individual to learn the job, and that can be up to 12 weeks. So an employer really will enter into this agreement, hire an individual that we refer to them, and that person's salary would be paid by Worklink for up to 12 weeks while they learn the job. The understanding in the agreement is that if the individual has been successful learning the job and his performance has been satisfactory, then they're required to take them on as a full-time employee at that point. And so the OJT program, or on-the-job training program, is a way to get training actually specific to an individual job in a real-world situation. And if they're successful, then they become employed under the program. Again, the Department of Labor is very interested in utilizing this tool to really jumpstart the economy and get more small businesses to begin hiring again with less risk than they'd have otherwise. There's even some likelihood that they're going to raise that 50% level so that businesses will even
Pay less.
pay less. And hopefully, again, that will help us get more people back to work here on the peninsula.
Well, that sounds like a win-win, as you said, for the
We think it is.
for the person seeking a job and for the employer. You have free career development workshops that are available.
Absolutely.
Talk about some of the things that are taught in some of those workshops that you offer.
Okay, let me again say that this is part of core services. This is open to anybody. And the free workshops are done on a monthly basis. We have a schedule. When anyone comes into our Career Resource Center, they can see the scheduled workshops for that month, and they're constantly changing. But it's a wide range of things, everything from the perfect resume, helping people develop a resume and understand that they're different. You might adjust your resume slightly to the specific jobs that you might be seeking at any given time. How to interview, interviewing skills, things change. They may have interviewed some time ago, but they haven't interviewed recently, and they really would learn a lot in that workshop. Dress for success, how to do a labor market analysis, take a look at really what jobs are out there at any given time, what industries are growing, what industries are declining. So that's sort of a range of things. We're constantly changing them and trying to meet the needs of our customers.
And if I recall, those workshops, you can also access information to what's available on the website.
Yes,
Is
you
that
can.
correct?
All right, we have constant information updated.
Okay.
There's also a website that if a person comes to the Resource Center, we're going to put them on a computer, ask them to register. It's vaworkconnect.com. It's a statewide resource that, again, can give people information about jobs in Newport News or Hampton or just specifically York County or the entire region. Or you could look at the state of Virginia and jobs throughout the state. So it's a tremendous resource that can really assist people, and we help them understand how to use it at the WorkLink, but they could access it directly from their home.
Right. Okay. What is WorkKeys?
WorkKeys is a test that was developed by ACT testing. The easiest way to describe it is it was designed for the workplace as the SAT test was designed for college entrance. It measures a person's workplace skills in applied mathematics, applied technology, reading for information, and there's writing skill. Actually, there are about 6 different tests that can be given. And so WorkKeys, again, is available through Thomas Nelson and the Peninsula Worklink. If a person wishes to go through that, they'll get a report and a level record that they can take to an employer and demonstrate their actual skills and their work readiness, essentially. It's also good because if a person takes it and they have deficiencies in some areas, then they know that that's where they need to work on that and build that before they maybe go out on their interviews. And Thomas Nelson has a lab where a person can practice, go through practice tests and build their skills so that they can improve their score on WorkKeys and then take it to interviews.
Now, does that relate to the career readiness certificate?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the basis for the career readiness certificate. Actually, the state of Virginia has recognized WorkKeys and its value in preparation for work, customers being prepared to go to work, and then as a consequence, they issue the career readiness certificates.
Okay. That about wraps up all of the questions that I had prepared. Is there anything else that you would like to add about the Workforce Worklink?
Well, I would say that one of the issues that we've been trying to deal with is the fact that we on the peninsula here have a lot of area to cover. From Williamsburg, Gloucester is in our workforce area, Newport News, Hampton, and with just 2 sites, it may be difficult for some people to get to us and access our services. So we've developed a system called the Shared Network Access Points. And for your listeners or watchers here in York County particularly, we're in the process of opening up several sites of these access points in the county. And 2 right off the top of my head is the libraries and Tab District and Yorktown District. Those libraries will have a access point, Peninsula Worklink access point shortly. And when that occurs, people will be able to go there and access those core level services that I have mentioned in this discussion.
Okay. Exactly where is the center located in Hampton?
In Hampton, we're right next to Thomas Nelson. We're on Thomas Nelson Drive or Butler Farm Road. It's actually, depending on where you are, it's listed both ways. 600 Butler Farm Road. And so that's in the Peninsula Workforce Development Center. In Williamsburg, we're at Williamsburg Crossing Shopping Center, and right on the corner of Route 5 and 199. And it's in the offices of the Virginia Employment Commission, the VEC offices in that location. We're co-located with them.
Okay. Well, Mr. Carr, I thank you so much for taking the time to come and talk with us today about the Worklink here on the peninsula. Thank you. And thank you for watching County Courier.